Generative AI. It's way more than just a buzzword, right? It's like a tidal weave of transformation, and it's heading straight for every single industry. So the big question is, how do you go from just knowing it exists to actually leading your market with it? Well, let's dive into the roadmap that can guide any company on this exact journey.
Here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about this massive AI transformation wave that's building right now. Then I'll introduce your map for the journey, the maturity model itself. We're going to break down the 5 distinct stages, help you figure out where your company is on that map, and finally, lay out a clear path to get you to innovation.
So, first things first, why the big rush? Because generative AI isn't just another tech trend you can watch from the sidelines. It is a fundamental shift in how business gets done. And you know what? Having a plan is no longer optional. At its heart, generative AI is a totally new kind of intelligence. It's not just about analyzing data that's already out there. It's about creating something brand new. We're talking new ideas, new designs, new solutions. It is a seriously powerful new force, and every business has to get a handle on it to survive, let alone thrive.
And this brings us to the million-dollar question, one you should probably be asking yourself right now. Is your business really ready for this? Are you all geared up to ride this wave, or are you at risk of getting swept away? To really get this, let's look at the key difference here. For years, we've had something called discriminative AI. Think of it as analytical AI. It's amazing at recognizing patterns, classifying things. But generative AI? That's all about creative power. It doesn't just analyze, it generates. That makes it a direct engine for innovation.
Okay, navigating a shift this massive requires a plan. You need a guide. So let's get to our map for this journey and see how this all comes together. The generative AI maturity model. So what is this thing exactly? Well, a maturity model is basically a strategic framework. It's a tool that lets a company take a good, hard look in the mirror, see where it actually stands with generative AI, spot what's missing, and then build a real, concrete plan to get where it needs to go. And why is a model like this so absolutely critical right now? Well, for one, the disruption is intense, like nothing we've ever seen before. The pace is just unbelievably fast, which makes it super easy to get caught flat-footed. Honestly, having a systematic approach isn't just a nice idea, it's essential if you want any chance of success. Now for the real heart of the model. We're going to walk through the 5 distinct stages of maturity, taking you from those very first baby steps all the way to becoming a true leader in your market. So here they are, the 5 levels. You start out as an enlightener, you move on to become an explorer, then a builder, a navigator, and finally, the ultimate goal, an innovator. Each stage here is a major leap in how a company really uses this technology. Let's start at level 1, the enlightener. This is where most companies kick things off. There's, a basic awareness of what generative AI is. Maybe a few people are playing around with some public tools, but there's no real strategy, just some informal experiments and a lot of reliance on whatever tools are already out there. But this first stage comes with some tough challenges. You're trying to sift through a mountain of hype and misinformation. Figure out which of the million tools out there are actually right for your business, and all while trying to avoid the huge technical risks of just diving in without a plan. Okay, now let's look at the jump from level 2 to level 3, from being an explorer to becoming a builder. You can see the shift right here. An explorer starts to get serious. They put together a team, they find some specific use cases, but the builder, they take it to a whole new level. Now they have clear long-term strategies, they standardize their processes, and they start to systematically monitor their results. See, they're not just playing around anymore, they are building a real in-house capability. Next up, we have level 4, the navigator. And this is where things get really, really sophisticated. At this stage, AI isn't stuck in one department. It's woven through the entire company. Every single project has a quantifiable, measurable value. The strategy isn't set in stone. It's constantly being tweaked and optimized based on real results, and risk management becomes proactive instead of reactive. This all brings us to the final destination, the absolute peak of the model. This is all about becoming a true AI-powered market leader, where technology isn't just a tool you use, it's the very core of your competitive advantage. And this is level 5, the innovator. For these companies, AI is a core competency. It's completely baked into their DNA. Their strategy is so advanced it can even adjust itself automatically. They don't follow trends, they are out there setting them using AI. And this whole thing is supported by a deep AI culture, with training programs in place to keep everyone on the cutting edge. So after seeing all 5 of those stages, you're probably wondering, okay, where does my company fit into all this? Let's do a little reality check and help you find your place on the map. A recent Accenture survey of 2,000 companies gives us a pretty fascinating snapshot. Get this, only 12% of companies are considered mature in their AI journey. That means they're at that navigator or innovator level. A massive 88% are still in the developing stages. So what does that really mean for you? Well, if you looked at those early stages and thought, yep, that's us, you're not behind. You are right there with the vast majority. The key isn't to get anxious about it, but to be really strategic about what you do next. Which brings us right to our final section. How to actually chart that path forward. What are the concrete next steps you can take on your journey to becoming an innovator? It really just comes down to a simple but incredibly powerful 3-step framework. First, you assess where you are. Then you strategize your next move. And finally, you have to continuously evolve your capabilities. This is exactly how you put the model into action. You use those 5 stages to be really honest about where you are right now. Based on that assessment, you create a clear, realistic strategy to climb to the next level. And just remember, this is not a one-and-done project. You have to commit to constantly evolving as the technology and the market keep changing at lightning speed. And that's really the final thought I want to leave you with. Now that you have the map, you can actually see the path from just dabbling in creativity to achieving true, market-defining innovation. The only question left is, what's your company's next step?